What is a histogram? How does it visualize statistical data? And how can this visualization help you with data analysis? In this video, I'll show you how to ace your next statistics exam and take your data analysis to the next level using histograms. Histograms are a standard tool in statistics and are essential for many academic papers. To help you understand and use histograms, I'll walk you through the basics today. And now, without further ado, welcome to Shribe. What is a histogram? A histogram is a type of chart that represents a frequency distribution. As you can see in the graphic, the x-axis represents intervals, while the y-axis shows their corresponding frequencies. A key characteristic of a histogram is that the bars are directly adjacent to one another, with no gaps in between. This emphasizes the continuous nature of the data, as each bar represents a range of values rather than discrete categories. This is because histograms are used for continuous data, for example measurements like weight, length, or time spans. In contrast, bar charts represent categorical data. Nominal data such as the number of students in different study programs like law, psychology, or business administration. That's why bars in a bar chart are separated from each other. It's also crucial that the y-axis of a histogram starts at a frequency of 0. The height of each bar represents the number of data points in that interval. If the baseline is altered, the perceived heights of the bars change, potentially distorting the actual distribution of the data. This could lead to an overestimation of low frequencies or an underestimation of high frequencies. 2. Where are histograms used? Histograms are widely used across various fields. In economics, for example, they help analyze income distribution across different demographic groups. In medicine, they assist in understanding the distribution of measurements like blood pressure or BMI within a population. They are also crucial for fundamental statistical data analysis, such as checking whether a dataset follows a normal distribution. Let's create a histogram using a real-world example. We have a dataset of exam scores from the last statistics test. First, you need to create a frequency distribution table and group the scores into intervals. The intervals must have equal width, ensuring that all bars are the same size. If the intervals are too wide, important details might be lost, whereas too narrow intervals could make the chart too complex. For this example, I've chosen intervals of 10 points each, like 40 to 49 and 50 to 59. In statistics class, intervals for histograms are typically chosen so that the lower boundary is inclusive and the upper boundary is exclusive. An interval of 60 to 69 includes values from 60 up to 69 but not 70. This avoids overlap and ensures each value falls into only one interval. If we instead used an interval of 60 to 70, the value 70 would belong to two intervals, both 60 to 70 and 70 to 80, leading to ambiguity. To avoid this issue and ensure a clear assignment of data points to intervals, histogram intervals do not overlap. Now let's look at the frequencies. One student scored in the 40 to 49 range. Another student scored between 50 to 59. Two students scored between 60 to 69. Four students scored between 70 to 79. And so on. Now, you need to plot this data using software like Excel or R. The result for our example looks like this. Interpreting histograms is a crucial step in understanding your collected data. A histogram provides a visual representation of how data is distributed. It helps identify patterns and anomalies that may indicate specific trends or issues. Keep in mind that in density histograms, probabilities are represented by the area of the bars, while in frequency histograms, the bar height indicates the number of observations in each interval. First, data distribution. Histograms show the frequency of data within different intervals, making it easy to assess distribution at a glance. Researchers can quickly determine whether the data is normally distributed, skewed left or right, or exhibits other patterns like bimodal distributions. A normal distribution, often called a bell curve, means that most data points cluster around a central value, with symmetrical tails extending on both sides. In a university setting, this could represent exam scores where most students achieve average marks, while very high or very low scores are less common. A skewed distribution indicates that the data is asymmetrically spread. A positively skewed, meaning right-skewed histogram, shows a concentration of low values with a few high values, such as the time students spend studying for a subject. Many may spend only a little time, while a few invest a lot. A negatively skewed, meaning left-skewed distribution suggests the opposite. A bimodal distribution featuring two peaks may indicate the presence of two distinct groups. For example, in a class attended by both first-year and advanced students, two peaks might suggest that each group tends to score differently. Second, identifying anomalies. Visualizing data can reveal outliers, unusual patterns, or anomalies that may warrant further investigation. The width of the intervals shows how data is grouped. Narrow bars indicate a detailed distribution, and wider bars provide a more generalized overview. The bar height represents the number of observations in each interval. Taller bars indicate higher frequencies. Before we dive into the next part, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. It really helps me out a lot. Third, comparing datasets. Histograms allow for easy comparison of two or more datasets. You can use them to examine how data is distributed under different conditions or across different groups. Fourth, hypothesis testing. Histograms can help formulate or test hypotheses about data. For example, if you hypothesize that a particular variable follows a normal distribution, a histogram can confirm or disprove this assumption. Fifth, decision making. In practice, such as in quality control, histograms are used to determine whether a business process meets specific specifications. Interpreting our example. To better understand histograms, I'll now pose a few questions about our example. Feel free to pause and try answering before checking the solutions. Would you say the data is symmetric, or is it skewed left or right? You can see that the taller bars are on the left side. This suggests a left-skewed distribution, meaning the data has negative skewness. In other words, students scored relatively high in this exam. What is the mode of this dataset? The mode is the interval with the highest frequency. In this case, most students scored between 80 and 89, making this the mode. How many students scored up to 69 points? Adding the first three bars. 1 plus 1 plus 2, meaning 4 students scored up to 69 points. How many students scored at least 80 points? Adding the last two bars. 5 plus 4, meaning 9 students scored at least 80 points. How many students scored between 60 and 89 points? Adding the middle bars, 2 plus 4 plus 5, meaning 11 students scored within the intervals 60 to 69, 70 to 79, and 80 to 89. Histograms and probabilities. Returning to our exam example, the bar heights indicate how many students fall within specific score ranges, but they also reflect the probability of a randomly selected student achieving a particular result. A clustering of values around a central score suggests a normal distribution, which many statistical tests assume. The histogram helps determine whether this assumption holds or if another testing approach is needed. Histograms also allow us to infer conclusions about an entire population from a sample. For instance, a histogram of a class's exam scores can provide insights into the performance of all students in the program. All in all, a histogram is like a Swiss Army knife in a statistician's toolkit. If you want to dive deeper, I highly recommend Andy Field's book, Discovering Statistics.